If you guys want safe, clean drinking water for your RV, stick around. Dirty water solo unit. You're just not going to get much better than that. Hey everybody, welcome back to By Weight. Today I just wanted to do a quick video on water filtration for your RV. Now, for us, we drink straight out of the faucet. So having good clean water is, well, kind of important. Plus, drinking from the faucet just cuts down on us buying water jugs and bottles, saves on plastic, saves money, and saves on space and weight in the RV. But as full-time RVers, as we travel around and we pull into a campground, we're always kind of wondering, how good is this water that we're actually hooking up to and drinking? So that's where proper water filtration comes into play. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about what we use for water filtration, as we've been full-time RVing for almost 3 years now. So a while back, a company called No Dirty Water reached out to us, and they wanted us to try their solo unit and their water filters. Now, they're a USA-based company out of Michigan, and what makes them different from other water filters, or what makes their filters different from other companies, is they produce a 0.2 micron filter, right here. So what does that mean? What is a micron? 0.2, what's this rating system? They all look the same to me. Well, that's what I used to think too. I used to just buy the cheap ones, put them in my cabin filter, and thought, hey, got some good filtration going on. Well, that's not really the case. Turns out there's actually a lot of technology that goes into the making of these and what makes them different from one to the other, and the ratings. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, I never used to look into the different kinds of filters, what the numbers meant, the ratings. Honestly, I used to really just kind of buy the cheapest filters and put them in the RV cabin filter and the inline filter and called it a day and thought I had good water filtration going on. Well, it turns out it's not the case. Most RV filters that I've always used were usually a 5 micron rating, if not even a 20 micron rating. Probably the same thing for you guys. It turns out that most of those standard inline water filters, the ones that we hook up to our hoses outside, those are usually rated at 20 microns, and then the average one that looks like this, that you're probably been putting in your cabin filter, if you have one like we do in our wet bay, is usually a 5 micron filter. Well, it turns out that all that's really doing is filtering out sand and sediment and not much more. So what is a micron rating? Well, it turns out that the larger the micron rating, the, poorer quality filter it is, or the less it's going to filter out. For example, if you have, say, a 5 micron rated water filter, it's going to only filter out microns that are the size of 5 or greater. If you have a rating of 1, it's going to filter out any microns the size of 1 or greater. And that's where these filters come into play by No Dirty Water. These are actually rated at 0.2 microns. Now, I'll talk a little bit later about the technology that goes into making these and what makes these different. I'll tell you right now, I don't really understand it, but I will talk about it a little bit. Now, by the way, a micron is a micrometer, which is a thousandth of a millimeter, just so you can kind of grasp the size we're talking here. I believe anything rated at a 1 or under in the micron, you cannot see from the naked eye. So when you have something like this that is a 0.2 micron filter, you're talking about filtering out bacteria, parasites, iron, as well as things like cysts, iron, lead, mercury, arsenic, chlorine, and you can see the list just goes on and on. You can see how well these 0.2 micron filters just filter out so much more than your average standard filter. Now, by the way, none of this really matters if your water pipes aren't sanitized either. So every year we like to sanitize our RV water lines, and we have a video, I'll put a link to that right here, and that will take you step by step on how to properly sanitize all of the water lines in your RV, as well as your outside water hose. And I'll also put a link to that video down in the description so you can go back to it after watching this to see how to properly sanitize your fresh water tank and all the lines as well. So by the way, stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to show you the easy installation process of the solo unit that No Dirty Water sent us that we installed underneath our kitchen sink. as a extra layer or stage of water filtration. So why did we choose the no dirty water filter system versus having a Berkey or maybe some other companies like Clear 2.0 or Clear Source in their water filtration system? Well, basically it came down to three main reasons: costs, space, and effectiveness. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the Berkey water filtration system, and that's basically even classified as a water purifier. And it's great, and it's for those who have it, that's awesome. Just for us, I just don't have enough counter space to have the Berkey system taking up so much counter space. Plus, hey, they're really expensive. And say maybe a system like the Clear Source 3-stage water filtration system, those are great too, but they're going to take up space in your basement with the 3 housing canisters, either mounted on a wall or you have to keep it outside. And basically, we already have a cabin filter installed in our wet bay, and between that filter, installing the solo unit under the kitchen sink, and an inline filter, we basically have a 3-stage system. And with these filters right here, being a 0.2 micron rating, you're just not going to get much better than that. And by having 2 of them, you're basically filtering on anything you have to worry about. Because a water filtration system is only as good as the filters going into it anyways. Now, so let's talk a little bit about what makes these a 0.2 micron filtration rating. And this is a USA-based company. The products are made in the USA, and they're actually tested by a third-party company. Now, let me show you the video of the installation process and get into the technology behind these filters right here. As you can see, they offer a few different size filters, which is great. Now let's try to break down this technology a little bit. They use a proprietary patented electro-absorptive media technology. It's capable of removing submicron pathogens and inorganic contaminants through electroadhesion and ion exchange. Well, I guess all this doesn't make too much sense, but I guess the technology makes it possible for non-woven media to produce filtration efficiency comparable to ultramembrane filtration. This level of filtration is achieved with very low pressure drop still, high flow rates, and still high load capacity, and that works well with fresh, brackish, or even salt waters. Now, the filter media consists of coated microglass fibers produced using a wet-laid, non-woven manufacturing technology. The base media is laminated between layers of spun bond to provide both strength and pleat support. So there you have it. By the way, if you guys are liking the video so far, we always appreciate it if you can hit that like button down there, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell if you want to get notified every time we have new videos coming out. As today, I wanted to walk you through the installation of a new filtration system that we were sent from a company called Blu Technology. This is their no dirty water solo unit right here, and this I believe retails for about $99. And this is just going to be an extra stage of filtration for our water system. Now, they sent us this unit out to try. We're going to install this underneath our kitchen sink. I'm going to install it, use it for a few months, and then I'll probably go ahead and do some more filming and review it and let you guys know what I think about it. Now, this should be a pretty simple process. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody depending on if you're installing this and you're starting a new build and you have to buy your own plumbing, if you're just adding it to your kitchen sink, if maybe you're doing a van setup, which these are perfect for. The only few things you're really going to need are a 1/2-inch NPT male fitting that goes inside each side of the canister, so you're going to need 2 of them. Now, this one right here is a 1/2-inch male NPT fitting on this side, and on this side it's a basic 1/2-inch PEX fitting. So that's something you can purchase. I'll put links down to all this below, and it's going to depend on what your water setup is underneath your kitchen sink, what kind of piping you have, if you want to use hard PEX, if you're going to use soft PEX. You may have reinforced vinyl tubing, which I have some of that down here I'm going to be using. So you're just going to have to get a plan, know what you need for an installation system. But one thing you're going to need no matter what is a 1/2-inch NPT male fitting. You're going to need 2 of those to go on each side of the canister housing here. And then depending on what you want on the other side of the fitting is going to depend on if you have it going into PEX or soft PEX or whatever. I will tell you, I did make the mistake when I first got this unit. I didn't realize that I needed a NPT fitting, and that is a big, huge difference because NPT stands for National Pipe Thread, and an NPT fitting, male fitting, is going to basically have the threads tapered off a little bit at an angle. If you try to use a different fitting, it's not going to fit in the canister, right? And it's not going to work. So just a tip there, make sure you take a note of that. A few other items you might need are just some basic plumber's tape. You may need some PEX cutters. You may need a cinch clamp to cinch down on the shark bite clamps that we're going to be using, or you just may need a regular hose clamp like this. So just kind of figure out how you want to do this. I'll show you how I'm doing it today. You can copy that process, but it may be different for just, again, depending on the setup underneath your kitchen sink or wherever you're installing these things. But the overall process is pretty easy. Now, as you can see underneath my kitchen sink, a while ago, I actually installed some water shutoffs onto all of my lines throughout my whole camper. And this is a huge help, because if you're going to be doing a project like this, or any project, or if you have a leak in your camper, all you have to do is turn these. You can shut the water off, and then you can work on any water fixture you want, or if you have a leak, you can work on it without shutting water off to the whole camper. And we have a whole video to that, and I'll put a link to that on how to install these. And it's definitely a project I recommend doing if you haven't done that within your RV yet. My water shut off now. We're just gonna go ahead and take this piece of clear reinforced vinyl tubing off, and we're basically going to mount our filter unit on the side of the wall here, make our connections, and go from there. And now just a heads up on this, depending on where you want to mount it, the water flows in through this side, but you can take this top bracket here and you can spin it and turn it around. That way, if you want to mount it on the other wall like this and have the water coming through there, all you have to do is take these 4 screws out and you're good to go with that. Okay, we have our 1/2" NPT male fitting right here. I have some plumber's tape on it. We're just gonna go ahead and screw this in right here. Make sure you leave those little rubber gaskets inside there to get a nice connection. We're gonna put a wrench on this later and tighten it down a little bit more. And then we're gonna go over here and do the same thing for this side and put this one in. I'm just gonna hand tighten them right now, and then I'll get a wrench and tighten them up real nice. So this is what the water line looks like coming down from my faucet. It's just a simple soft braided line, and it has a 1/2" PEX fitting, barb PEX fitting on the end. So I need to find a way to connect the two of these. I'm going to use some hard PEX that I just cut off right here, and some of these shark bite cinch clamps, which just slide over nice and easy like that. What you're going to do is just slide that into the 1/2" PEX. Make sure your clamp's already on there. Leave a little gap, and then we're going to cinch that down and tighten it up. Now, if you don't have one of these in your RV toolbox, I recommend you get one. This is an iWis PEX cinch tool, and these are vital for, well, any plumbing job in your RV. It's what you're going to use to cinch down on these clamps. You squeeze down as hard as you can, and it won't release until it's all the way sealed and cinched up, and then it pops back off. And when you're done, you have a nice tight seal on that clamp, as you can see right there. Make sure you find a nice secure spot to mount your 2 screws to hold your canister filter. I had to move mine a few times just because my plumbing was sort of getting in the way, but this is the spot I found. Just hang it on there, tighten the 2 screws down real tight. Once you got that done, we're going to go ahead and connect this other side. This is reinforced vinyl tubing right here that I have, and again, it's just going to go over this 1/2" barb fitting, except with this I'm going to use a hose clamp. The 1/2" PEX fittings won't fit over this reinforced vinyl tubing. You can also use soft PEX here, or you can just use hard PEX, depending on just how your setup is and what's most convenient for you. Okay, so first things first, go ahead and slide your hose clamp over the tubing if that's the route you're going. Same thing if you're going with soft PEX, you want to slide your cinch clamp over the soft PEX. Now just slide it onto the 1/2" barb fitting, get it on there nice and good, and I'm just going to slide this clamp down, get a flathead screwdriver, and we're just going to tighten this down as tight as we can get it. Make sure it's all nice and sealed up real good. Okay, that's it. I turned the water back on and I have the faucet running, and now I am just checking for leaks everywhere. You want to make sure you look around, check all the fittings, check the canister, just give it a real good look. I would check it for the first day. You know how these things go sometimes. You just want to give it a good visual inspection, make sure everything looks great. So, there you go, guys. Fresh, clean, safe drinking water, safe from the faucet, and the peace of mind knowing that no matter where you park your RV, your water is going to be clean and ready to drink. That's it. We'll see you guys next time. Remember, get out there, start your full-time RVing adventure, because why wait?